Hello everyone, today I'm continuing to work on my box of bad locos. As you can see by the thumbnail, this was the second runner-up for the locomotive that would get the most comments. So this thing actually looks mint. Looks mint and it looks clean. So I don't know why it was put up for sale as a bad loco. Let's have a look at this again. It is absolutely gorgeous. Everything's there. Horns, handrails. It's absolutely great. Even looks clean. So, without further ado, let's go and put it on the track. Look at this little bell here. That is awesome. Really nice detail. So this thing is mint. So maybe it's a DCC issue. It's got a DCC decoder inside. So let's do a factory reset on this just to see if it runs at all or if that can help. So let's just start with that. So I fired up my NCE power cab. The factory reset on the NCE power cab is called the recovery program. So we'll just go on the program track. Program track, enter. And then the recovery program is option 7. But first, I just want to go on the standard just to see what's going to happen. So just standard programming. What are we looking at? Cannot read CV, so maybe the decoder is bad. Maybe the decoder is not making contact with the track. So I am going to try again the recovery program. You never know what's going to happen. So that's option 7. Let's just see what happens here. Well, basically nothing. So like I said before, maybe the decoder is bad. Maybe the decoder is not making contact with the track. So I'm going to let it run its course. But nothing's happening, so that's that. So let's just clean the wheels and let's see what happens. Shell removal, I used the box method. And here we go. So maybe I had this before where I had a nice backman unit and it just quit working. It was just dead in the water like this. And I just wiggled the board and it started making contact with the sides of the frame again. And it started right up. So let's just go over this. There would be, in my opinion, well, wait a second. There's a lead from the motor missing here. That explains a lot. Let's just take it apart so we can have a better look at what's going on. So yeah, I wiggled the frame and it came back. It's been running good ever since. I have a tendency to put all the parts in the box there so I don't lose them. That is a good habit. Good habit. Because if you just lose one part, it still hurts you. And then I'll take my trusty screwdriver, take note of the orientation of the trucks, and then I'll just put my screwdriver and the two trucks come out. Excellent. Yeah, so this DCC conversion is far from perfect. We'll take a better look at that. I got my 2 trucks there, fuel tank, and the headlight shield, we'll remove that. That looks to be a pretty good decoder. I do have an extra decoder. Something bad happens and I need a decoder. I have one available, so that's not gonna stop me. So the frame half is still held together with the engine cradle. So we'll just get that through one at a time. Yeah, how is that side of the motor supposed to contact the board? So we're missing a little pin here. So I'm gonna look through my, this looks like a nice decoder. As far as I'm concerned, I think that's the issue. How is the decoder supposed to make contact with this motor part? Anyways, I'm gonna keep doing that, clean everything, and then we'll put it back together. I think I'm gonna put it back together on DC so I can test it out, make sure I'm happy. And then, actually that would waste a lot of time, so maybe I won't do that. Oh, I see the second pin. So there's one pin here, and there's one pin under there. Okay, so the motor's good. I'm good with that. Okay, I may not do it with the DCC after all. I'll probably just put it back together with the DCC, but with clean wheels. That's probably gonna be that's probably gonna check everything again. You know, what if this should have kept on tape on it, which it didn't. So this should have kept on tape, because if it touches the frame, then you could maybe fry your decoder, and that would be bad. So we'll do that. We'll clean everything up and we'll put it back together with the new kept on tape, and then we'll see what that does. Just remove that last little pin there. Here we go. So I have the two contacts. I have this side, the top side, and the bottom side. So that's good. Motor seems good. Let's test it out on DC. Yeah, runs beautifully. This is the lowest step on my power pack, so awesome. Yeah, when I'm troubleshooting, I always start with the motor, and then I keep adding parts to the motor. And when I find when it stops working, then I know what the issue is. So just put 1 drop of oil, and I'll use the play on the end, the thrust on there, just to wiggle the lubrication into the bearing. So I'll do that with my hands, then I'll run it a little bit with the power pack. So the top of these contact strips, I'll just clean them with my fingers. Usually that is enough. So let's just put that there for now. The worm gears, I did the same thing. I just put 1 drop of oil, and that will be good. This is the brand that I use, just in case you were curious. There and there. So just put 2 little drops, and that will be good. As much as I like Kato, I have to give credit where credit is due. These are really good runners. Same thing with these contact strips. They look great. I just clean them with my fingers. And the part from the trucks, this little part here, it rubs against them, so that should clean itself basically. So these, if they fall out, it's okay, but if they don't fall out, I don't take them out. I'm gonna remove this old kept on tape. We'll put some new one. The two frame halves don't even feel dirty, so this feels great actually. So we'll spend most of our time on this. There's four little tabs, four little snaps that hold these together, and then you should wiggle them past these humps. There's humps on the side for the contact strips. You just get them past these humps, and you have your two little contact strips. Let's just take a look at them. They look great. That's probably not the issue. Again, these rub against the axle, so they should pretty much clean themselves. It is not dirty by appearance, but let's see. I'm gonna get my rag and we'll take a look at this just to see the truth. But it doesn't look that dirty. I'm going to put it right back together with the DC board. If it runs on DC, well, it was a little bit dirty. Nothing to write home about. But still, you know what they say, cleanliness is next to godliness. So I'm going to continue with these. And then I'll wash everything, including the gearbox, with some my toothbrush and some dish soap. Since I have my wheels in my hand, may as well check the gauge. So this is my trusty KD Microtrains height gauge. This is old enough that it says KD on it instead of Microtrains. Daniel Cordopassi would be proud of me for doing that. On the subject of Daniel Cordopassi, do yourself a favor and just go on Google and Google N-scale repairs. So you'll see all the top guys that do this type of videos. And of course I'm on there, really happy about that. But there's other people, including Daniel Cordopassi and a couple of other guys. I have not seen everybody that does that. So I'm gonna do that probably one of these days. I took a screenshot with my phone. I'm gonna go do that, check out all the top guys. But these are the guys that I look up to, you know, Daniel Cordopassi and Mike Pfeiffer and Jimmy at DIY and Digital Railroad. Jimmy, that's his job, is to make videos, so he is awesome. He comes up with a lot of really good topics. This is what I like. It's so free spinning. So that is beautiful. Let's just do the other side off camera. So nice to have a workbench with all my tools handy. That is a real joy. Now that everything's clean, I'm gonna put everything back together. Oh, wait a second. I am gonna put some kept-on tape right now. You can have kept-on tape on it even though you're running DC. Yeah, you can have kept-on tape and still run DC. So I like to loop it around a couple of times. Just to be sure. And that should be plenty. I'm going to do the same side, the exact same thing on the other side frame. And then the motor and the two worm gears. So that I do take my time. I have not clipped the motor in yet, so there's a little slack. That allows me to put in my my worm gear bearings very precisely. Yeah, this one should be a little bit lower. There's something blocking it. I don't get it. Okay, I fixed it, but these should be free to move. They should be able to move just a little bit. You can't see it very well, but they should be able to move just a little bit. That helps for noise reduction. And I'm just gonna clip the motor in now. And on the other side, you can see these are spring loaded a little bit, so that helps to reduce noise. That's what those are for, in case you were wondering. So that's what I like to do, you know, every time I add a part, I'll come in and test everything. So far so good. Then I bring in my DC decoder. Well, we'll see if it's good. But you have to make sure that your two motor leads touch the circuit board. That's looking pretty good so far. No reason to be worried. Yeah, there's two insulators on the frame there. They stuck there, so I left them there, but you need them, so make sure that you have them, because they could drop down for some reason. Wow, that went together quick. Looks great. So I'm gonna try that again, just to see where we're at. So that, so far so good. Gives me a chance to test the lights at the same time. I'm running it with very low power. So the front light works, then the rear light works. Perfect. So I'll add the power trucks now. So remember which order they go in. So nothing's tight at this point. I've not tightened anything, but that's coming soon. So use gravity as your friend to hold everything down for you. This is also a good time to check that your contact strips are at the correct place. So I check that. They look okay. Not perfect, but okay. You can see this one is forward a little bit from that one. So that, I don't know if I'm going to do anything about that. So one of these was switched around, but which one? They should be very symmetrical, really. So I don't know what happened there. Okay, they have a little bit of slack in their hole, so that could explain how they moved around. I'm gonna leave them like that. I don't think it's gonna prevent me from running. And then I'll bring in the fuel tank and we'll tighten the two screws. And that, we should be up and running. There, bring in the fuel tank. The filler hole goes towards the front. Just like that. And then I'll bring in my little retainers. And then I'll start screwing this. So as I screw this, I just get them started. And I'll tighten them at the very end together at the same time. So this one, I just got it started. And I'll start the other one. There is an orientation to this. They're a little bit of a cone shape. It's no big deal if you get them backwards, but if you get them correctly, It just fit in there better. So now I'm ready to tighten everything. I'm just making sure my my power trucks they swivel nice and easy, and then I'll tighten them. They don't have to be very tight, just hand tight. And then double check everything. My contact strips are in the correct position, and my power truck swivel nice and easy. Try it again on the bench, and then we'll go on the track. So I mean, at the very least, I've got a super nice DC locomotive. Let's see if I can make the locomotive work, but this time using the wheels. Actually runs perfect. Awesome. Let's go on the track. Well, let's see what we got. Runs flawlessly. And pretty quiet too. I'm gonna run it a little bit, just like that. I can't call it breaking it in because it's a used engine, but I'm still gonna run it a little bit. Look at that, it can even crawl. That's awesome. Well, alrighty then. I'm gonna give this DCC board a second chance. So I'm gonna reinstall it now that I know that everything else is in perfect shape. So I'm just gonna reinstall it and then we'll see. I was watching the other guys' videos yesterday, and Jimmy at DIY and Digital Railroad is going to be giving away an SD40 because Cado is doing a new run of the SD40, which is fine by me. I'm probably not going to get any because they don't have ditch lights. That's kind of a feature that I like. So I like the SD40-2 early version because they have ditch lights. Then we'll just switch out this board. Now my Backman unit, if you remember, it didn't work because the decoder had lost contact. So let's see if just moving it around will make a difference, because that can. Actually, it is a little loose in there. I might put just a little piece of paper just to put some tension on it. I've done that in the past. You might say it's counterintuitive to do that. So I put two little pieces of paper there. Just give it a little bit of spring, just to jam it hard against the frame. And I'm also checking that the two contacts are right up against where they should be. Now it fits tight up against the frame. I'm gonna put the other side of the frame together. Now make sure everything's free and in its proper place, and then we'll tighten the frame together. Tighten those two little screws. And then check everything again. I can't test this on DC, I have to go on the track now. So let's do the same thing. Let's program this again and then just see what happens. So we're going to program on the program track. And then standard. Suspense. Yay! So we got, we're communicating with the decoder. So 127, I can go look up on Google who it is, and then the decoder version Whoops, I hit that wrong. Happens to the best of us. Perfect, enter. Decoder version 36, excellent. Setup address, yes. Short address 003. Activate this address, absolutely. Let me just look up the correct address for this. The long address 1201. Enter. Activate this address, yes. And then everything else we'll just skip. We'll skip that as well. And then I'm done with that. And then let's just see if the headlight works. Perfect. And the rear one. Then let's try moving forward. Excellent. Can't complain about that. So that's all it took. Basically just to wiggle the decoder a little bit. And that, as they say, is that. I'm going to do a factory reset, just like I said I would do. So you go back on the program track, and then enter, and then the factory reset is option 7. So now just let it go through its motions. On the NC power cab, it's called recovery program, but that's it. Should be good to go. Let's try it again. Oh, you know what? When I do the factory reset, it erases the address. So I have to go redo that. That gets me every time. Actually, I can do a program on the track to reset the address. So let's do that. I can go program on the main. And then enter. Oh, actually that won't work because I have to put the address in. Program track, enter. Standard. Suspense. Enter. Enter. Set up short address. Yes. 03 is good. Activate this address. Long address 1201. Enter. Yes. And then that's it. We're good. And that's all it was. Super. Now I'm very satisfied with this. I'm going to put the shell back on. Make sure you stay till the end, because after I'm going to take this GS4 apart to try and find out what's missing, because I'm going to order parts. It takes a couple of weeks to get parts, so just stay in. After this locomotive, I'm going to do the GS4, but first let's get this one done. It would be most satisfying to see it running. So that, even though it started out as a non-runner, It's been a really good purchase. I'm really glad that I got this. I have some engines in my collection that I look at them and I'm thinking to myself, I will never sell that. And I think this one would be part of that type of locomotive. I don't think I want to sell that one. And now it's time to run some trains. So I've got my container train hooked up. I suppose it's not really era appropriate, but anyways, that's what I've got on the layout and I don't want to put it away. So manufacturer 127 is Atlas Model Railway Company. So looks like to be a real good decoder, so don't be afraid if you have a decoder that's not working. It's probably really easy to fix it. So let's go. I'm gonna put on the other track, I'm gonna put my U25C. I haven't run these in a while. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon. So I've got to order parts for this. So I'm taking a look ahead of time because it takes time to get the parts. So I was on the Cardo website yesterday, and they do have available the front here, but it doesn't have the lenses, so that's kind of too bad. I'm gonna start here with the traction tire. Start with this traction tire that fell off. I'll put that back on first. So just gonna put the top area there, and I'm gonna stretch it out with a toothpick and my screwdriver. Just to stretch it out. Let's see if I can get it right. Yeah, I was able to get it back in, so that's good news. Now on these, as you can see here, there's two drawbars. There's a lot that goes on in the tender, so we're going to open the tender up. That is the best place to look first, because in the tender is where you have a connection for the if you want to switch it to DCC. So there's a little circuit board in the tender, so you just have to spread out the sides a little bit, and then it will let you take the top of the tender off. And that, believe it or not, was meant to be easy. So let's take a look at this. There's a big weight in here. So that could be all that's wrong with this engine. You can see one of the hockey sticks is out of place, and the tender drawbar is out of place, so that's not good. And you have to be careful about this area here, but once it's set up, it's great. You just have to align everything properly before you put the shell back on. So that's what these hockey sticks do. They take electricity from the little circuit board and bring it to the motor. This drawbar goes to the motor, and then that's it. This should run. Well, in theory anyways. And also these two pins weren't set properly. They were on the outside, and they have to go on the inside, like so, like here. That is a real pain to set the tender back up on this, so I have to do it off camera. So basically all that was wrong with it was stuff in the tender. Now it runs perfectly. And it is a good runner. So it's missing the smoke box front. It's available from Cardo directly, although the lenses are not available. So I am gonna order that smoke box front, that's for sure. And then we'll see what to do about the lenses. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you soon.